Alright, so we got the most dangerous toys for children ever made. Let me know if you had any of these.
Imagine handing your child a metal-tipped
There's no way this shit was actually legal. This had to be like in the 1500s, bro.
and then telling them to have fun in the backyard.
No.
That's essentially what millions of American families did every summer.
No.
And for years, nobody thought twice about it. Jarts were weighted lawn darts, about a foot long, designed to be lobbed in high arcs toward plastic rings on the ground. They flew off shelves in the 1970s and 80s as a staple of American outdoor life.
1970s to 80s, bro?
The cheerful packaging didn't mention. Those heavy metal tips,
dude, that's like that's
could penetrate a human skull.
What? Nah.
1988, Jarts set an estimated 6,000 to 7,000 people to the emergency.
Whose idea was this, bro? Who came up with this?
3 of them were children who
did
not survive. After 7-year-old Michelle Snow had her life cut tragically short in 1987, struck in the head by a neighbor child's Jart. Her father
imagine just playing in the backyard, doing your thing as a kid, and then, bro, that's sad. That's sad.
Push regulators to act. The Consumer Product Safety Commission, CPSC, who will be mentioned numerous times in this video, finally banned Jarts outright in December 1988. Not restricted, not age-gated, completely banned. Retailers were forced to stop selling them. They look like something from a fairy tale.
I remember these.
Cell-winged dolls that launched into the air with a single pull of a cord. When Galoob released Sky Dancers in 1994, I
seen the commercials.
Little girls everywhere wanted one. But what happened next, nobody anticipated.
What happened, bro?
Once airborne, these tiny fairies became completely uncontrollable, spinning wildly in random directions at startling speed. These stiff plastic wings weren't just decorative. They were effectively tiny rotating blades at eye level.
Really?
The injury reports that flooded in were striking. Broken teeth, mild concussions, scratched corneas, a broken rib, facial laceration.
Broken rib.
One child suffered a temporary loss of vision. Another needed emergency eye treatment after a direct hit. By 2000, the CPSC had documented 150 reports of injury and issued a
go ahead and ban that, bro.
9 million units.
Go ahead and ban that.
Like market, soft colors, graceful flight had obscured something obvious in hindsight. When you launch a hard spinning object into the air indoors, someone is going to get hurt. By 1996,
makes sense. Oh my god, these were popular.
Already conquered the toy world once. Mattel decided it was time for a reinvention. A doll that could actually eat. Children could feed the snack time kid plastic vegetables and snacks, and a motorized mouth would chew them up and pull them inside.
I mean, brother, we can already see the accidents that are just waiting to happen with these, bro.
Catastrophic flaw. The mechanism had absolutely no ability to distinguish between a plastic carrot and a child's hair or fingers. Once those little motorized jaws grabbed hold of something, they didn't let go. Parents across the country were frantically cutting their children's hair to free them from their own dolls. Mattel received roughly 100 complaints, with the CPSC logging about 35.
I didn't even think about the hair. I thought about the fingers.
Before pulling the product in January 1997, just months after its release. The company offered full refunds.
That's crazy.
In 2007, Aquadots were the hottest craft toy on the market. Tiny, colorful
I think I had this.
beads children could arrange in patterns and fuse together with water. They won Toy of the Year in Australia. American kids couldn't get enough of them. Then children started falling into comas. Investigators discovered the beads were coated with a chemical that, once ingested,
butane idol found in Aquadots metabolized into GHB, gamma hydroxide butyric acid. Oh, brother. Sodium 4-hydrobutyrate. I think I said that right. I don't know. Sodium Sodium oxybate Exserum. Schedule 3 drug. Yeah.
Metabolized inside the body into GHB.
GHB. What is that?
Gamma hydroxybutyrate, the notorious date rape drug. The manufacturer had substituted a toxic compound for the intended non-toxic binding agent, almost certainly to cut costs. Several children who swallowed the beads lost consciousness. 2 in the US were hospitalized in
I had these. Good thing I never thought to eat them, but like, bro.
The CPSC issued an immediate recall of 4.2 million sets. In Australia, where the toy was sold as Bindies, criminal investigations followed. The scale of what had
that is insane, bro. That is insane.
The nature of the chemical involved made this one of the most alarming toy safety failures of
that is insane.
The mid-2000s CSI television franchise was
I wanted this as a kid.
Phenomenon, and toy makers moved fast to capitalize on it. Planet Toys.
This just goes to show, bro. Toys makers do not care about the kids
fingerprint kit
or anything, bro.
Aspiring young detectives. Kids could dust for prints just like their TV heroes, but the fingerprint powder contained asbestos.
What?
Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization revealed like asbestos in the fingerprint powder, a known carcinogen with no safe exposure threshold. Independent testing confirmed the findings, and Planet Toys halted sales.
How do you even get asbestos in that? Like, how?
The kits in late 2007. What made this case unsettling wasn't just the danger, it was the method of exposure. Children using the kit were instructed to dust surfaces and blow away excess powder. They were, in effect, inhaling asbestos fibers directly. The effects of asbestos exposure can take decades to manifest, meaning the full consequences of this toy's time on shelves may not be known for years to come.
Oh my god.
Magnetics building sets arrived with...
I had this, I think. No, I went to like some type of preschool with this, I think.
Genuinely compelling pitch. Colorful rods and steel spheres that snap together magnetically, letting kids construct elaborate 3D shapes. They sold millions of units in the
I think I had this.
The danger wasn't immediately obvious, and that's precisely what made it so serious.
Is it kids swallowing the metal stuff?
The plastic rods could crack, releasing the small but extraordinarily powerful magnets inside. Young children swallowed them, and when a child swallows more than one high-powered magnet, those magnets seek each other out, attracting through intestinal walls, pinching tissue, causing perforations and blockages that required emergency surgery. A 22-month-old boy lost his life in 2005 after swallowing magnetics components. Dozens of other children required operations. Rose Art Industries recalled 3.8 million sets in 2006 after regulators said the company had been aware of the risks before the recall.
All right. Companies need to be sued through the Earth core and beyond. Like, brother, there's no way. There's absolutely no. There's no way, bro.
Safety. But
how the hell are
this exact problem would
shit? It made me pissed off, bro.
Less than a decade after magnetics,
oh my god,
disaster repeated itself.
Like you just had to.
Product marketed squarely at adults. Buckyballs were tiny, extraordinarily powerful, rare earth magnetic spheres, sold as a desktop stress toy and creative building set. They were sleek, addictive, and viral. The company sold millions of sets, but children were getting into them. And multiple magnets with the same catastrophic results seen with magnetics.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm so glad I don't got kids, and hopefully I don't have kids for probably like a very long time. But like, brother, if you got kids out there, bro, prayers to you. And I know you stressing, bro.
Operations,
God,
surgeries, life-threatening complications.
Oh.
The CPSC documented over 1,700 reported incidents of magnet ingestion. In 2012, the CPSC took the extraordinary step of filing suit to force a recall, one of the agency's most aggressive actions in years. CEO Craig Zucker fought back publicly and loudly. He waged a very public PR battle against the CPSC, running ads and satirical posts, calling it government overreach. He lost. The product was pulled. But Zucker's battle made Buckyballs the rare toy recall that felt like a culture war. In 1964, Mattel handed children a metal mold, a vial of liquid plastic, and a hot plate that reached nearly 400 degrees Fahrenheit.
Bro, what were they thinking?
The pitch? Make your own rubbery bugs at home. Kids absolutely loved it. But the burns were almost inevitable. The thing maker's heating element had no guard, no automatic shutoff, and no meaningful barrier between curious fingers and a surface hot enough to cause serious injury. The Plastigoop compound used to make the creatures was also found to be toxic when heated, releasing fumes children were inhaling in enclosed bedrooms and playrooms across America. What's remarkable is how long it survived. The original Thingmaker ran through the 1960s and into the 70s before quietly disappearing.
Like, brother, we're all cooked. We're all cooked.
The concept in the late
Don't matter if you was a kid in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Don't matter, bro. We all cooked.
The open hot plate.
The fact that we survived.
Sealed design. The lesson had been learned. But it took a generation of singed fingers to get there. Few toys are as deeply embedded
Easy Bake. Oh my god.
As the Easy Bake Oven. Since 1963, Kenner's miniature oven, powered initially by a pair of ordinary incandescent light bulbs, cooked real food and delighted millions of children. The problem emerged slowly, then all at once. The design featured a front-loading slot wide enough for small hands to reach inside while the heating element was active. Between 2003 and 2007, the CPSC received 249 reports of children getting their fingers or hands trapped inside the newer version.
What?
77 burn injuries reported, including numerous children who suffered burns serious enough to require medical attention or partial amputation. Hasbro, which had acquired the brand, initiated a voluntary recall of 985,000 units in 2007. What made this story resonate wasn't just the injuries, it was the irony. A toy built around the wholesome image of baking and nurturing had a fundamental design flaw hiding for years.
Bro, I swear to God, these companies just care about money.
The most recognizable products.
They don't care, bro. They don't care about the kids.
Clackers were elegantly simple.
Clackers. Oh, I see. I've seen these.
Attached to a string, swung rhythmically until they clacked together above and below the hand in a satisfying loop.
Yeah.
In the early 1970s, they were everywhere. Schoolyards, backyards, living rooms. They were also, under the right conditions, tiny bombs. The acrylic spheres were prone to shattering under repeated impact, sending sharp fragments flying at high velocity toward the face and eyes of whoever was holding them. This even led some to suggest that clackers could be used as a weapon. The CPSC ultimately banned them in 1976. But here's
clackers, known as donkers, click clack bangers, were a popular toy in the 1970s. Two acrylic balls swung together, made a loud noise, smacked too hard, they shattered, spraying children with clacker shrapnel banned in the 1981s.
Clackers
That's crazy.
Back. Reformulated with safer materials, they resurfaced in toy stores and have appeared
I remember these
ever since. The toy wasn't fundamentally dangerous in concept, just catastrophically wrong in its original execution. In 1978, Battlestar Galactica was a television phenomenon, and Mattel had the toy license. Among the products released was a Colonial Viper, a sleek spacecraft toy that launched a small plastic missile from its nose using a spring-loaded mechanism. Shortly after reaching store shelves in time for Christmas 1978, the toy took the life of a child. A 4-year-old boy in Georgia choked after inhaling one of the tiny missiles. He did not survive. The incident triggered Mattel to quickly recall and redesign the missile mechanism. The case had an outsized impact on the industry. It accelerated federal scrutiny of projectile toys and helped establish the standards that govern small parts and launching mechanisms in children's products to this day. This one tragedy reshaped the rules for an entire toy category.
That's crazy.
They promised something children have always wanted: the ability to bounce like you're walking on the moon. Strapped to the feet like miniature trampolines, moon shoes arrived in the 1990s under big-time toys.
Oh my god, bro! Thanks for following, bro. I appreciate that.
Promise to sell an
enormous number. Okay, I've never heard of these, but this just seems like a bad idea, bro.
Structural. The design proved unstable under repeated impact, often
bro,
without warning. When a moon shoe failed mid-bounce, the child wearing it came down hard and fast on an unstable, broken platform. Ankle fractures and sprains flooded in.
Yeah.
The design placed all of a child's landing force onto a small, poorly supported frame that simply wasn't well engineered for sustained.
I mean, they don't even look safe, bro. Really?
Numerous injury reports, and the toys went through multiple redesigns across different manufacturers over the years, each iteration trying to solve the same fundamental problem.
Why are these like AI video or pictures now?
Cheap plastic frames lose that argument eventually. Moon shoes never received a single sweeping recall, but their injury record accumulated across a decade.
Hell no.
They remain on the market today. The moon
I've never seen these.
Is still worth the risk. When self-balancing scooters, universally called hoverboards, despite having no...
Bro, these were crazy. I remember my friend having one. And I was spinning, I was trying to do it, I could never get the hang of it. I hit my back hard, bro.
Whatsoever exploded.
I was like, hell no, I'm never doing this shit ever again.
They were the must-have gift of the holiday season. Celebrities rode them in music videos. They were everywhere within months.
I couldn't.
They started catching fire. The lithium-ion battery packs powering the boards, often manufactured cheaply to meet overwhelming demand, were prone to overheating and thermal runaway, a chain reaction that turned the board into a small incendiary device. Hoverboards ignited in living rooms, bedrooms, and hallways.
I remember seeing videos.
Caused severe property damage to homes. Airlines banned them from cargo holds. The U.S. Postal Service imposed strict limits on shipping them due to the battery risk. The CPSC issued warnings covering all hoverboard brands in 2016, an almost unprecedented blanket action, and more than 500,000 units were eventually recalled across multiple manufacturers. The hoverboard craze didn't die entirely right away, but the era of unregulated, uncertified boards was over. The market eventually stabilized around UL safety certification. Just getting there came after numerous fires and safety incidents. The slip and slide has been a symbol of American summer since Wham-O introduced it in 1961, a long strip of plastic.
I actually really love these. I'm not gonna lie. These were like low-key half my childhood, bro.
Garden hose and a running start. The concept is pure joy, and it has never really gone away.
True.
It was also quietly injuring people for decades. The CPSC issued an unusual warning in 1993. Not about children, but about teenagers and adults using the product. The slip and slide was engineered for the weight and momentum of small children. When heavier users dove onto it, the impact could cause cervical spine injuries, including paralysis. 7 adults and 1 teenager had suffered neck injuries to cause paraplegia or quadriplegia. Wham-O added prominent adult warnings to the packaging. The product itself never left the market, And every summer, without fail, adults at backyard parties still take a running dive because some risks are apparently worth it.
Yeah, I guess.
Sport Stuff Incorporated released the WeGo.
If you ever try this, I mean, like, bro.
2006, a large circular inflatable designed to be towed behind a speedboat, catching air and lifting the rider off the water.
I mean, it seems cool, but bro,
graceful, exhilarating flight. It looked spectacular. It was also extraordinarily difficult to control. The tube's aerodynamic shape made it unpredictable at speed. Riders could be lifted high into the air before being thrown violently off.
Yeah.
With no meaningful way to control ascent, descent, or landing. 2 people lost their lives. Dozens suffered serious injuries, including broken bones and spinal trauma in the roughly 1 year the product was on the market. Issued a voluntary recall in July 2006 and urged owners to destroy the product immediately. The Kite had sold about 19,000 units. What makes this case particularly striking is that the danger wasn't hidden in materials or chemistry. It was entirely visible in the concept itself. Throwing a person into the air on an uncontrolled inflatable behind a motorboat was never a problem waiting to be discovered. It was a problem obvious in thrilling footage and wishful thinking.
It was like, bro, why would you even want to do that, bro? Like, what causes you...
the idea was...
Oh, no, I can't even explain it. This shit looks crazy. Water rockets? Bro, what?
Pressurize it with a foot pump and launch it skyward. Rockets were sold under various names throughout the 1990s and 2000s, and delivered on their promise. These things could reach impressive heights, which was precisely the appeal. The problem was what happened on the way back down. The rockets returned to Earth fast and hard, and when they struck a child, the impacts caused significant injuries. But the deeper hazard was the launching mechanism itself. Cheaper versions could fail under pressure, causing the rocket to rupture or launch sideways without warning. Eye injuries were the most commonly reported outcome, and several cases involved impacts serious enough to cause permanent damage. Multiple versions from different manufacturers were recalled across a span of years. But the toy category never disappeared entirely. It just became one of those products where the gap between the joyful marketing image, a rocket soaring against a blue sky, and the injury reports file at the CPSC.
That's
2 very different stories about the same afternoon in the backyard. They arrived from overseas markets around 2000.
Oh my god, yo-yo balls. I had these.
Yo-yo balls were water-filled rubber orbs attached to a long elastic cord.
Yeah, these were cool. I love these.
And stretch the cord to remarkable lengths. Children loved them. They were cheap, colorful, and endlessly entertaining. That plastic cord was the problem. Long and strong enough to wrap multiple times around a child's neck. The cord posed a genuine strangulation risk, particularly for young children who could become tangled during play. The CPSC received reports of children losing consciousness. Several near asphyxiation incidents were documented. In 2003, the CPSC warned consumers about the toys and worked to halt their importation.
I mean, that's crazy.
Flooding in through informal retail channels, market stalls, discount importers, online sellers. These weren't products from major domestic toy companies with established recall infrastructure. They were cheap imports moving through a supply chain that was almost impossible to shut down cleanly. Long after official warnings were issued, yo-yo balls kept appearing. Some almost certainly still do. Few toys capture a cultural moment.
Oh my god, I love these, bro. And I think these, there's like some type of metal, right? Inside of them. And sometimes like you'd hit it, like cut you or something. But I never had that happen to me. But these were fun. I love these.
Slap bracelet captured
I love them.
1990. A strip of stiff metal wrapped in fabric or printed plastic.
Yeah.
You slapped it against your wrist, and it curled into a bracelet instantly. The sensation was satisfying. The designs were bright, And within months, they were extremely common among children.
They were super common. My freaking teacher would throw them out if you had one good star. Like, it was crazy, bro.
Fabric started wearing through.
Oh, yeah.
The steel band inside, essentially a flattened strip of tensioned metal, could slice through the cheap fabric covering and expose a sharp edge directly against a child's wrist. Reports of lacerations came in. Schools across the country banned them, one after another, which had the perverse effect of making them even more desirable. They became contraband accessories. Under the weight of school bans and parental concern, slap bracelets nearly vanished from mainstream retail in the early 1990s. And finally, the one that makes everything else
Atomic Energy Lab. Yeah, let's just go ahead and sell that to kids. Yeah.
List seem reasonable by comparison. In 1950, the A.C. Gilbert Company, America's most prestigious toy maker at the time, released the U-238 Atomic Energy Laboratory. It was designed to make nuclear science accessible and exciting for children. Gilbert had a genuine education philosophy, and the kit was serious. It came with a Geiger counter, a spinthariscope, an electroscope, and 4 sample containers of actual radioactive material, including...
Bro, what the... Never in a world we will ever get this again, bro.
Uranium-bearing ore. This was a children's...
Uranium. Yeah, let's just go ahead and sell it on the shelves, bro.
Toy. With real uranium in the box. Gilbert's literature assured parents the radioactivity levels were safe. And by exposure standards of the 1950s, the company wasn't entirely wrong. The samples were low level, but the understanding of long-term radiation risk was also dramatically incomplete at the time. And the notion of children handling radioactive ore samples, however mild, would be unthinkable.
Children would swallow anything. They were swallowing those metal balls. Bro, you think they're gonna swallow? Oh my god, bro.
The kit was priced at $49.50, nearly $600 in today's money, which likely limited its reach more than any safety concern did. It sold poorly and was discontinued after just 1 year on the market. What the Gilbert Atomic Energy Lab really represents isn't malice or negligence. It's a snapshot of a specific cultural moment.
Yeah.
America's breathless optimism about nuclear technology, so complete and uncritical that it put uranium in a child's Christmas gift. The danger wasn't in the toy alone. It was in the era that made the toy possible.
Yeah, I guess.
Look back at these toys and think, what were they thinking? Which of these do you think was the most dangerous, the most outrageous?
I mean, brother, the most dangerous had to be the fucking uranium in my Christmas gift. Like,
I can't believe they actually made that toy. And another question, what toys today do you think that children play with that might be considered dangerous in the future?
That's just crazy, bro. W video. Honestly, W video.